Hello, good afternoon. Welcome to Newsbeat on Metro Television, coming to you live from the Akwa Bahima studio here at North Ridge in Accra. My name is Ifwa Ando. Coming up in the next 60 minutes. Several homes submerged at Wager after spillage of the dam. Meanwhile, the Ghana Water Company Limited has shut down 5 of its treatment plants following the weekend's flooding and the spillage of the Barry Dam. Occupy Ghana calls for a state of emergency in mining areas as a step to deal with unregulated and illegal mining practices in the country. Plus, 13 young women abducted by unknown people in Zambia rescued months after they disappeared. Details coming up shortly. To stay. Some residents of Wager and its environs in the Wager-Gbawe constituency are displaced following the spillage of the Wager Dam by the Ghana Water Company Limited. The annual spillage of the dam by the Ghana Water Company Limited is meant to release excess water from the dam. The maximum level of water the dam is built to hold is about 46 feet, but the level came up to 48 feet, thereby threatening its safety, hence the decision to spill. Meanwhile, the GWCL has indicated that the recent spillage was brought about following the recent heavy rains, but it is in control. Metro News' Gabriel Ni Obodai is in the community and has this for us.
Estates are parking out because this entire area is flooded, and it's as a result of spillage from the Wager Dam. So per our checks, the Wager Dam is currently at a level of 49.5 feet as against the maximum operating level of 48. So it's at 49, but the maximum operating capacity is supposed to be 48 feet. Spillage normally begins when the level gets to 46.5 feet. As a result, 4 spill gates have been opened to safeguard the integrity of the dam, save the dam from collapse, and save lives and properties. But as a result, and in a bid to save lives and properties, we are seeing residences nearby being largely affected, some such that residents have been compelled to be running out, carrying what they could in order to save their dear lives. Canoes are being used here on this flat you see, but I have with me here concerned residents who called me early in the morning. It was a distress call for us to come over and then see the situation for ourselves. Welcome to Metro TV's news program.
Thank you very much.
Your name and then the concern.
Yeah, thank you very much. I'm grateful. I think I gave a distress call, as you said, and you responded to me. All right, my name is Joseph Udesian. I was the former media manager of ADS Advertising. Therefore, the first media manager that launched Tigo in Ghana, etc. So I have this relationship with the TV station.
So how is the situation affecting you?
At the moment, we saw a split of water 3 days ago. So we started doing a recording online, trying to call the attention of the authorities. But this morning, it was worse when we got up. Honestly, where I am, I'm a bit on the hill bit. Okay. But the whole area is flooded. As I talk to you, my house is flooded. So I have to move out with my family just to safeguard the keys and everything.
Oh, so you've moved out?
I've moved
for
out
safety.
of my room for safety's sake. So my family, my wife and kids are here as waiting on you for you people to come. So that's the state now. But honestly, quickly to add, the issue here is that normally the dam normally goes up like that. But this is what has happened, that we used to have a pit. There is a pit behind the school, right? I think that was used for the National Theatre or whatever. It's a long time that's been there. And they have started filling that pit for getting to almost a year now. And what we were expecting was that the pit, when they started filling the pit, there should be a gutter that will assist when there's a spill and it's flooding. There should be a flow that will go through that side to Kokojo, which will cross through the road. Then it will also go to the sea. Now, because the pit is filled, the water cannot have a way. So therefore, it all has to come to this side.
Was it the case that previously, as a result of the presence of the pit, whenever the water is spilled out, then it goes through the pit onward towards the sea? Was it a situation?
Yeah.
Was the pit serving a purpose?
The pit was actually a danger, okay, for the area. But honestly, when
it wasn't helping in getting the water drained whenever there is a spillage?
It was helping in a way when there's a split. What happened is that because there's a pathway through that way to the other gutter, which is the other river called Kokojo, normally it goes there. So although they will be flooded, it won't be much like this. Okay, but because now the pit is filled, now the whole place is flooded. That's the problem we have now.
All right, so apart from the fact that persons are running out, residents are parking out, then schools have been compelled to also shut. We are in front of one of the schools.
Yeah, this school is called Mount Carmel. It's one of the preparatory schools here. We have almost about 3 preparatory schools in there. And this morning, some of the kids, if you could see, you see that some of the kids came to school this morning, they are all stranded. Okay, and St. Jude, be the government school, is the same thing. You see that they are all stranded. So this morning, all the kids were asked to go home. And there's another one also called Pretty Kids. And there's another one also, we have about 5 preparatory schools here, plus the government school. And as I talk to you, the whole of government school is flooded. Okay. So that's the problem we are having now.
All right.
Yeah.
It's unfortunate, and we hope that...
So we'll be speaking with Gabriel Ni Obodai shortly to find out where these residents are headed to and what help they're getting. But like we heard over there, schools have been shut and several residents have packed out from their homes at the new Weija Estates in Accra. Gabriel Ni Obodai is there speaking with these residents and finding out what exactly they feel now. We understand that Gabriel Ni Obodai is on. Obodai, this is obviously distressing for residents in these areas. What have they been saying and what are they doing?
It is. Many of them, as you could see right behind me, are still running out. And we've seen several of them, hundreds of them, packing what they just could run with. Schools here have been shut. And from what we've gathered from them, they are moving to their relatives' end, staying a bit far from where the situation currently is. They've raised a concern about the fact that no official has been here to then provide support to them. We haven't seen anyone from the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, or from the District Assembly coming to their aid. So much as we would find the Ghana Water Company working on its facility, that's the Weija Dam, in order for the dam not to collapse or to protect its integrity, we must also be thinking about the aftermath of how residents here are continually affected whenever the spillage is done. So in summary, the residents are still moving out and life has come to a standstill here. They are yet to receive any support.
Thank you very much. Gabriel Ni Obodai there speaking with us from Weija. Moving on, hundreds of residents at Akwadum Zongo in the New Jubbing North municipality fled their homes after several hours of downpour submerged their homes. The rains over the weekend worsened after the Dinso River, which flows through the community, overflowed its banks. Thousands of properties have been lost in the process, and residents say the situation may get worse if the rains do not stop. We'll be speaking with our man out there in the eastern region to find out what the situation now is like over there. Let's now speak to Kofi J, who is in the eastern region. Kofi, what's happening today? Has the situation improved?
Hello?
Hello, Kofi.
Please, this is not Kofi.
Hello. Well, we'll be speaking with the NADMO official there in the Eastern region shortly, but we understand that in the communities out there we have him on the line. Daniel Kankamchumisi, he is the Municipal Operations Director of the National Disaster Management Organization in the Eastern region. We have been speaking with him earlier. Let's watch this.
The situation currently is very better. Life is getting back to normal. There are no floods at any place. But we are gathering, we are done with our data collection. So we have our data sheet now, complete data sheet now. We went there to visit them yesterday. That is the Municipal Chief Executive, Madam Kofatasante, the Member of Parliament, Honorable Koseji Boateng, and the Municipal NADMO Secretariat. We were there to visit them. And we are currently in a meeting, planning on sending them potable water since their water has been contaminated, trying to send them some food items, that is relief items, waiting to hear from our National Secretariat so that they will give us relief items. That is why we are working on our data, because if our data is not complete, our National Secretariat cannot give us the relief items that is needed for the victims. We are adequately prepared because we advise all those at the flood-prone areas, especially those closer to the river side, to leave the place. Since we provided them with safe havens, some schools have been provided for them to stay in, some churches, some mosques, since the schools have been closed down for 1 week. Honestly speaking, the rains have been pouring frequently. That has been the major challenge.
Let's cross over to the Eastern region now and speak with our man there, Kofi J. Kofi, what's happening today? Has the situation improved?
Yeah, it has improved a little bit, but the level of the river is the same as it was yesterday. The people in Akwadum are still counting their loss, and others are now cleaning their stuffing chairs and cleaning their rooms. Some the flood leaves some what you call mushy things and other dirty things in their rooms, so they are now cleaning it to make sure if the rain didn't come again, they'll be able to dry off their things before the rain comes back in.
And people obviously will not be able to go about their normal activities. How do they feel about this?
Yeah, people have been stuck in the house with the fear that when they leave the house and it rains again, something will happen. Some, especially those owning cement shops and other places, they have moved their cement to the hills where the river couldn't reach the other people on the other side of the town. So they have packed their cement and other things there, just making sure if the rain comes again, their things will be safe from the disaster.
And what about school children? Are they still going to school?
Islamic school in Akwadum, specifically, they have closed down. I spoke with the headmaster, one Mr. Bacha, and he was telling me to close their school. So maybe the school reopens next week, Monday.
Right.
As it stands now, the children cannot come to the school because the flood, some of their rooms have been damaged, and the children cannot come there and learn in that situation. Yeah.
Kofi J is our man there out in the Eastern region. Thank you very much for your time. Moving on to some other stories, pressure group Occupy Ghana says government must declare a state of emergency in mining areas in Ghana because of the impact of illegal mining. In another letter to the president, the group warned that the country will be run down if steps are not taken to stop all unregulated and illegal mining activities. They say Parliament needed to be recalled from its recess for the government to outline the circumstances leading to the declaration of the state of emergency. Here are excerpts of their statement. Now, in their statement, they say we risk losing our very essence as a nation unless immediate and radical action is taken. First, to stop all unregulated and illegal mining, and then put a process in place to regulate artisanal mining going forward. We therefore request that you take immediate steps towards declaring a state of emergency in every mining area in Ghana. In accordance with Article 31(1) of the Constitution, these steps would be: first, seeking and obtaining the advice of the Council of State, and second, publishing a proclamation of the declaration in the Gazette. Therefore, we expect Parliament to be recalled from its vacation for the government to place before it the facts and circumstances leading to the declaration of the state of emergency under Article 31(2). Considering the gravity of the situation, we fully expect Parliament to agree with the government and provide that the state of emergency should remain for such period as Parliament may determine, so that the government can get a grasp of the situation. For our part, we have and are willing to offer suggestions and proposals on how to establish a properly regulated artisanal mining industry in Ghana that would benefit the wider interest of all Ghanaians. So that's a statement by Occupy Ghana. Former Minister for Land and Natural Resources under the Eswal Mahama administration, Inusuf Hussaini, has attributed the escalating illegal mining in the country to government's failure to crack the whip. According to him, irrespective of enforcement efforts by government, the Galamsey situation will not improve if stiffer punitive measures are meted out to offenders. He spoke to Annie Efwam Pofono. Good afternoon, Ghana.
Appears to be struggling to address the issue of illegal mining in Ghana, as many people continue to get involved in it. Vast lands have been destroyed and water bodies have not been spared. The activities of these illegal miners are visible in various mining communities, as the level of devastation speaks volumes. Citing the level of turbidity of Ghana's river bodies as an example, the former MP of Tamale Central said it is curiously obvious that various stakeholders such as politicians, chiefs and districts and regional authorities, among others, have been aiding the activities. He called for stiffer punitive measures against persons involved in illegal mining to serve as a deterrent to others.
People know that people in authority aid, facilitate, abet the coming into Ghana of these foreigners. But we are in our country. If the country is destroyed, the foreigner will go back to his country. The foreigner will go. And so when you are living in Yinahin and you see a foreigner engage in small-scale mining, you have a right to prevent that foreigner. If it means physical prevention, you have to prevent that foreigner physically. If you see a Ghanaian or somebody who looks like a Ghanaian engage in illegal small-scale mining, you have a right. You don't have to leave it to government. After all, recent events have demonstrated clearly that government authorities and officials are complicit in illegal small-scale mining.
Emmanuel Wilson is an anti-Galamsey campaigner.
Even our existence as human in this country, we are under a serious threat, because everything we consume now, we are now exposed. And no wonder when you go to, yesterday I was listening to a program where a medical doctor was talking about the kind of strange diseases that are now being recorded at the children's ward.
Yes.
And it is so alarming and disheartening. And so when you sit here and you think that, look, maybe I am the one benefiting from it, and so let me just keep quiet and benefit from it. When you sit here and you say that, look, I don't want to really fight and expose it because it will affect my party. Probably my party is the party that is in power. When you sit here and you reduce this whole national disaster known as Galamsey to partisan interest, selfish interest, what you are doing is that you are not just affecting yourself, but even your next generation.
He wondered why, after waiting for a very long time and allowing things to go out of hand, the country has turned around to blame the Chinese for indulging in illegal mining, saying although the Chinese were part of the Galamsey menace, they could not be blamed alone, since it was Ghanaians who assisted them to get the requisite documents to operate in the country.
Let's take a look at some other stories now. The case involving the gruesome murder of 2 persons in Mankasim has been adjourned again by the Cape Coast District 2. The decision, according to the court, is to give police ample time to further expand and investigate the case thoroughly.
The 3 accused persons, self-styled Pastor Michael Dakon, the Tufohene of Aquacrum, Eko Kwansa Onya, popularly known as Nana Clark, and one other suspect who was later arrested as an accomplice, reappeared before the court on Tuesday, October 4, 2022. The initial case, which involved the alleged killing and burial of an aspiring trainee nurse, Georgina Aso Botre, in the residential apartment of Nana Clark, was heard by the court on September 22. Police investigations into the case subsequently discovered the murder of one other person by the suspect. According to the police, the second victim, Gloria Yeboah, was a petty trader from Obokrum in Kumasi who was reported missing sometime in June 2022 when she left home in a quest to travel abroad. She was later murdered by the suspect who had lured her that they could assist her travel to Holland. The three have been remanded in police custody again and are expected to reappear before the court on Tuesday, October 18, 2022.
You're still watching Newsbeat here on Metro Television. We'll be right back after this break. You're welcome back. Good to have you with us. The Managing Director of the Electricity Company of Ghana, Samuel Mahama, has urged customers with prepaid meter challenges to remain calm as measures are being put in place to address their concerns. At a presser held in Accra Monday, he assured customers that the challenges at the various vending stations will be resolved soon. But is that the case? My colleague Zoe Anita Ode is in town to find out what's happening there. Good afternoon to you, Zoe.
ICT challenges. Due to that, people will find it very difficult purchasing their prepaid meters. I'm currently at Newtown here in Accra, and there are quite a number of people here queued to just have an opportunity to recharge their prepaid meters. Let me interact with some of them and let's listen to what they have to say. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, madam.
What is your name?
I'm Emmanuel Tete.
Emmanuel, how long has your light been off?
Since Saturday. Till now, yes. I've been coming here often, but still the network is not good. Yeah.
And what have they told you? What have they told you with regards to their challenges?
Yeah, they are working on it. We should wait, and we are still here. Yesterday, I went there since morning till evening, and the network was not working. So I went home. I'm a graphic designer, and right now I don't have lights at my workplace, so I'm just waiting. Yeah.
So, what time did you come here?
Around 8.
Around 8.
Yes.
And they've not mentioned anything. They've not told you what the problem is, and that's why they can't attend to you.
Yeah. When I came here, it was working, and then they told us it's off again, so we should wait. But I don't know the actual time it will come again, so we are just waiting.
Yeah. Okay. Let me also speak to this man here to also hear from him what his challenge is. Hello, good morning, sir.
Good morning, madam.
Say your name.
I'm Dave.
So how long has your light been off?
It's not off, though. It's left with a little to go off. But my problem is when it goes off and you buy, it will not load by itself due to technical problem. A reason best known to them, but best to me, the assistants are not working well. So
what time did you come in here?
Around 8:30.
And what have you been told? Have they attended to you?
The system was working. All of a sudden it went off, and we are told to wait for a while from 11 to 12. Maybe it will come on.
So it means you are sitting here till 12, probably.
To buy, because I wouldn't want my system to go off entirely.
Thank you very much. And also,
Zoe Anita Ode there visited some vending stations. Let's cross over to the Ashanti region. Abdel Bassett Suleiman is our man there. Bassett, I have slept in the dark for close to a week. Are there people like me out there? Hello, Bassett. Well, we'll try and get Bassett to speak with us on what is happening out there in the Ashanti region. Fado has directed the State Interest and Governance Authority collaborate with the Auditor General to fish out persons cited for infractions in the 2021 report and make recommendations for sanctions within the next 4 weeks. He gave the directive when he met board chairpersons of various state-owned enterprises at the Jubilee House Monday.
We are not in normal times, and people are eager to blame somebody. Let us not make it easy for people to blame us. We can defend and be excused for what is humanly beyond our control. But for those that fall under our purview of responsibility and capacity, let us do our best. I expect you to prioritize the payment of dividends, something virtually all of you have not been doing. I'm directing the Director General of SIGA to work with the Auditor General to drill down to the causes of the infractions, identify persons responsible, and make the necessary recommendations as prescribed by law. I'm giving them 4 weeks from now to submit a report to the Chief of Staff.
Board chairperson of the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, Isaac Osei, is calling for a national discourse on retirement age for public sector workers. His comments follow calls for government to cease the practice of engaging retired public sector workers on contract basis. While some argue that the move is necessary to enable institutions benefit from experienced persons, others believe it denies young persons from opportunities they could equally handle.
To the meeting on the 10th of October between the Auditor General and our management teams, which hopefully will help resolve some of the pertinent issues raised in his reports. We commend SIGA on these efforts. Mr. President, we will work to ensure our respective entities put in place dividend policies and strive to pay dividends to government. SIGA has made it clear that the expectation of government in this regard is 30% minimum contribution to GDP, even though we control assets of 50% of GDP, assets of 50% of GDP. We seek your full support, Mr. President, to enable us to task our management teams to make profit so that we can pay dividends to government for national development. Mr. President, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the fundamental wealth of any institution or nation is its human resource. Your free SHS and TVET policies will definitely improve our human resource capacity in the coming years. We also want to recommend a national discourse on the retirement age and remuneration of public sector workers. Mr. President, there's one key challenge that a number of my colleagues have urged me to flag for your attention. It is felt that some of our CEOs take advantage of having direct access to the executive and take issues relating to their entities there without recourse to their boards. Reporting lines are thus blurred and sometimes not respected.
Meanwhile, Chief Executive of the Fair Wages and Salaries Commission, Ben Arthur, has charged state entities to be more efficient and devise ways to make money. He said the practice where managers of state entities pay themselves bonuses when they cannot even pay dividend to the state is worrying and must cease.
Although Fair Wages is the body mandated to coordinate, manage and monitor collective bargaining processes in which government is the direct or indirect employer, only few of the state-owned enterprises have used our services in the management of their compensation. Our services are available for your use at boards and management to ensure that the employee performance is fully reflected in the respective pay systems of covered entities. Although all of us will agree that some of our entities have been set up for purely commercial purposes as limited liability companies, once they are operating with public funds called shares, the argument that they are generating their own money and therefore they should be left alone to pay themselves as much as possible, even to the extent of some paying bonuses to themselves when they could not pay dividends, to the shareholder, which is the state, should cease.
Board Chairperson of the Ghana Port and Harbours Authority, Isaac Osei, is calling for a national discourse on retirement age for public sector workers. His comments follow calls for government to cease the practice of engaging retired public sector workers on a contract basis. While some argue that the move is necessary to enable institutions benefit from experienced persons, others believe it denies young persons from opportunities they could equally handle. Now, we'll be speaking with the Labour person briefly via Zoom to tell us more about this. Hello, good afternoon to you, sir. You're still watching Newsbeat. We'll be back after this break. Yeah, welcome back. You're still watching Newspeed here on Metro Television. Now, we've been joined in the studio by Emma Frimpong and Ricky Frimpong with a Zoom Lion, and they've joined me here in the studio for a conversation on the 1 million waste bin distribution by Zoom Lion. First of all, let me start with you, Ricky. How do you plan on doing this distribution?
It has already started, but we've realized that a lot of the households now are not having the bins. So what should we have to do? As Zoom Lion, we have come out with this 1 million bin promotion so that each and every household by the end of the year should acquire and own a bin. That is why we are educating. We are on this sensitization program to educate each and every household within Accra, then other regions, to own a bin so that they can keep their waste where the waste management processes starts. So every household needs a bin.
And are they for free?
Yes, they are for free.
They are for free.
They are for free. Yes.
Right. Now, which regions are expected to benefit from this?
So this is a project across the country. So all the regions are expected to be part. We've started this across the entire region. If we need to have a good waste management as a country, the first step in waste management is having a receptacle to hold your waste. And when you travel outside, you realize that the places are clean. It is not because they don't do waste or they don't generate waste. Everybody generates waste, but the first step is to have something, a receptacle to hold your waste. And we've seen that challenge in the system. That is why Zoom Lion has taken it upon itself to give out the free bins. But when you check the local government bulletin, it is in that an individual is responsible to acquire his own bin. But this is a promo that Zoom Lion is doing to help the citizenry to acquire bins.
And how do you think this will help the sanitation situation in the country? Any of you can answer.
So it will go a long way in helping the country because everybody, just as I said, everybody produces waste. And when you produce the waste, normally nobody would want to keep the waste. That's why we see people dumping by the roadside, people dumping when it rains and at illegal places. So when they have the receptacle to hold the waste, then people are pushed to put in the receptacle. Then we go into the next step where the service providers will come around to pick the waste from the containers to the final disposal site or to a recycling plant. You understand? But if you don't have the receptacle, they will throw it anywhere. And the spectacle is a spectacle that is causing everybody to say that the country or Accra is dirty.
It's dirty. Yeah. Anything else you'd want to say or you want us to know?
We just want everybody to accept that the bin is the game changer. So each and every household needs to get one. So we'll be able to keep and store the waste as It has to, so that lifting it.
So this is just for households, right?
Yes, it's for the household institutions, lorry parks, market centers. Everybody is inclusive. Right. So we should get it so we won't litter around. We have a proper way of keeping the waste. For it easy collection and transportation for the necessary aspect of it to continue. That is why we are embarking on this project.
Right. Do you have anything to say?
Yes. So those who cannot get to our offices around, they can log on to there's a short code that we are using, *857#. When you go on to that code, it will take you through the steps. Or you can call 03070191991, and I think you'll be assisted to own a bin.
Right. Yeah. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for your time, and we wish you all the very best. Thank you, and we hope this will help keep Accra and the other cities clean.
Sure.
Thank you very much.
You're most welcome.
Now, the Chief Executive Officer of the Trust Hospital, Juliana Oye-Ame, has attributed the surge in breast cancer treatment to women's economic situation and access to treatment, particularly chemotherapy. According to her, it is high time health facilities adapted a strategic clinical approach to handling all breast cancer treatment pitfalls.
Breast Cancer Awareness Month is proudly brought to you by Reflow and Givers Industries.
You're still watching Newspeed. Up next is Business with Winston Taki.
And now to our first business story. Ghana Cocoa Board has signed a $1.13 billion syndicated loan for the 2021-2022 cocoa crop season. The facility, which is the largest deal in sub-Saharan Africa, will be used to finance cocoa purchases and related operational activities in the crop season. Speaking after the signing agreement, the board chairman of Cocoa Board, Peter McMahon, disclosed that Cocoa Board is hoping to hit 850,000 metric tons after missing this year's target.
And we have done this syndication for the past 30 years. I am happy that it continues to have the confidence of the financiers because we have never defaulted and we will not default from the system and the arrangements that has been put in place. The critical role of the cocoa sector in this country cannot be underestimated. From education, scholarships era, and we are still even reforming the system of the scholarships so that we can make good use of it in other educational areas. And I must say, we will continue to do better. Whatever it is, we will continue to do better. And because of that, the board and management has brought various programs and policies into place to make the industry shine. These include
Now the minority in parliament is raising red flags over a missing 100 million oil money they claim has been illegally transferred from Ghana's petroleum lifting in the first quarter of 2021. The Deputy Energy Minister, Ejapa Mensah, in his response to the allegation says the money is safe and currently in the account of the Ghana International Bank, a Ghanaian government-owned bank in UK.
This is all much ado about nothing. Of course, PIAC is an independent body that has been created by law. They have a view. That doesn't make their view gospel. Okay, they take the position, maybe useful, to subject the interpretation of this provision to the test by our courts. Okay, so that we bring finality and clarity to this matter. Because like I've made mention of earlier, PIAC consistently believes that Ghana Gas's revenue, and indeed in this report they cite it, ought to go into the petroleum holding funds. But Ghana Gas is a limited liability company. Okay, and the law enjoins it only to dispose of its income to shareholders by way of dividends. So how do you expect it to pay all its revenue into a certain fund, which its enabling legislation does not allow it to? I don't understand. My understanding is that GOHL's liftings, okay, were paid into one of GNPC's account with Ghana International Bank.
Ghana International Bank?
Yes.
Where?
Ghana International Bank, I was you are asking me where. You are a business news presenter. Of course, Ghana International Bank is a Ghanaian government-owned bank in.
All right, that'll be all for business here on Newsbeat. My name is Winston Taki. Phil John Quarty is standing by with sports. Phil?
Well, thank you very much, Winston. Up next, we'll bring you the latest in sports.
Bye.
It's time for sports. My name is Phil John Quarty. The president of the World Football Governing Body, Gianni Infantino, has sent a message of condolence to the government and people of Indonesia following a stadium disaster in which 174 football fans were killed after a football game.
This is a dark day for football and a tragedy beyond comprehension. I extend my deepest condolences to the families and friends of the victims who lost their lives following these tragic incidents. Together with FIFA and the global football community, all our thoughts and prayers are with the victims, those who have been injured, together with the people of Indonesia, the Asian Football Confederation, and the entire Indonesian football community at this difficult time.
That's your sports. My name is Phil John Quarty. Desi is standing by for the latest in entertainment.
Yes, time for entertainment. We're talking about Black Sherif's new album in a bit after this. I'm Desmond Okrekedan. So now it's a few days to the release of Black Sherif's first studio album on Thursday, October 6th. And as the day draws near, the Kweku the Traveler hitmaker has released a trailer for the album. And here are excerpts. Okay, so that's the album, The Villain I Never Was. That'll be out on a Wednesday at midnight. Now let's talk about the Ghana movie industry. And it came as a huge shock to the creative arts industry yesterday as it was announced that veteran actor Eko Blankson had passed on. There have been tributes from various stakeholders remembering the actor. And let's speak to Anthony Wood. He was with him on set prior to his death. Anthony, good afternoon. Thank you for joining us here on Newsbeat. Now, you were with him a few days ago. What was the aura around him like? Did it look like he was sick or anything like that? If you could unmute your sound so we can hear you clearly.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you now. So I'm asking, when you were with him on set, what was the aura around him like?
All right. Good afternoon to your viewers. On set, we started production on Tuesday. That was last week Tuesday for Venus Film Production, and all the way through to Friday. He was on set on Friday. We shot from Friday around 11 a.m. till the next day, which was Saturday, 2 a.m. So we ended 2 a.m. at dawn. And during that time, it was the same him, same Echo Blankson that we know. He just complained about a little headache, and he took some medicine. That was the last time I saw him, Saturday, 2 a.m.
Now, as a young actor, what were some of the values that you picked from him, as a veteran actor as he is?
He's not just, to me, he's not just an actor, because I've had some personal conversations with him, off-set and on-set, and always he talks about good things, advice. He always has advices for me. And he played Chief K as my boss and Inspector Bediako. And there's been a lot of advice during the production. Sometimes I get tired, sometimes I get exhausted, and then he just tells me, bro, he calls me, bro, you need to do this. You're here for a reason, so you need to go on with it. Like, there's so many advices and encouragements he gave me on set. And it's quite sad that we're just hit by this news. He is a very inspiring person. He is helping the youth underground. He's talking to most of the youth, trying to help them with their content, trying to help them with a whole lot of things. And he joined in Ghana Web recently. It's cute thing for creatives, and we felt that it was a bigger beginning for us. And then we're hit with this news, so it's a very sad one. My condolences to his family and his friends. And yeah, it's a sad one.
Now, how is the shoot still going on? And how is everybody on set taking this?
Well, prior to his death, there was a scene that was supposed to be shot on Sunday, but he had to be on another set, which was a Medic production for Aquaba Magic. So it was shifted to Monday. So so we're saying that on Monday we'll finish up with the scene. So yesterday there was a last scene that was supposed to shoot with him, which was a very pivotal role in the story. So we didn't have a way to go about it. So we did a setup and everything, and we had a 1 minute silence for him. And it was all emotional. People broke down, yes. So, but we managed to go on with the scene, but we just had to use some dialogues, just to bridge it.
All right, thank you very much, Anthony, and our condolences to yourself and the rest of the movie fraternity and the creative art space in general. So that was Anthony Wood. He was on set with him a few days prior to the death of Echo Blankson, and may his soul rest in perfect peace. That's it for entertainment. If I stand by with the rest of the bulletin.
Thank you very much, Desmond. Up next is international news.
13 young women aged between 17 and 28 who were abducted by unknown people in Zambia have been rescued 6 months after they disappeared. One of the abductees managed to scale a wall of the house where they were being held captive. She then alerted neighbors who broke in to rescue the rest of the women. North Korea has fired a suspected missile over Japan in what appears to be a deliberate escalation to get the attention of Tokyo and Washington. This is the first North Korean missile launch over Japan since 2017. Haitian police have fired tear gas at thousands of people marching in the streets of the capital to protest against the government's handling of crippling fuel shortages and soaring prices.
And that's how we end Newsbeat. My name is Efwa Ando. Have a good afternoon.